And we're back with more GAWT. Now it's time for Grown Ass Woman News. Each week, I'll get Erica's take on the week's entertainment news, current events, and news about grown ass women. And I wanted to start off with our girl, Ellen DeGeneres. She has a new stand-up special on Netflix that premiered, and the former daytime talk show host opened up about getting canceled. And during her Netflix special, she talked about going to therapy to deal with the backlash she received following claims of creating a toxic work environment on her daily show. Quote, "I was in therapy for a while trying to deal with all the hatred that was coming at me. I was not a common situation for a therapist to deal with," DeGeneres said. And she said, at one point, my therapist said, "Ellen, where do you get this idea that everyone hates you?" And she says, "Well, New York Times, the Washington Post, Entertainment Weekly, Us Weekly, Twitter, everything." Have you been able to check it out?
You know what? I did not see it. I have seen excerpts. And first of all, I love that you and I have this forum because I can say whatever I want and nobody cares, so I'm never getting canceled. You, however, have been canceled 3 or 4 times since we started this.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Erica.
That's why I would ask you, like, how do you feel? Because obviously you're a comedian as well, and you have to think, or does it color your comedy that you are afraid of getting canceled? Or are you just like, Ellen, like at this point, just like, fuck it, I'm just going to say what I need to say?
Well, you know what? I just want to say this because in full transparency, I was on the Ellen show before I did my talk show, The Real. I was a guest DJ for her, a number of episodes. And the only thing that I ever saw while we were doing that was just hardworking people trying to get a daytime talk show out there. Yes. And I just want to say that being in the daytime space, everybody mean.
Yeah. Look, being in the nighttime space, everybody mean. Okay? Being in prime time, everybody mean. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of pressure. And absolutely, you're trying to get something done we're doing something every week in prime time. You guys are doing something every day. That's crazy. I mean, the production schedule is just, just off the charts. So I understand people being short of patience.
Well, and I do want to say this, that the allegations made against Ellen should not be dismissed, but we can afford, I believe, to give her some grace. Sure. I think if you look at the history of who she was as a performer, she was the first performer to come out as gay. That was her first cancellation. And you got to watch her special. It's called For Your Approval. She details everything. She doesn't hold back. She is claiming that after this special, she's going to leave show business, but she got a lot of money.
Yeah, we know. We talked to Kathy last week about all that real estate money. We need to buy some houses, Loni. What the hell?
But her show made a lot of money.
Yes.
She got canceled with the sitcom. Then she was able to make a comeback through that. I think that opened the doors for a lot of LGBTQ people and a lot of situations. And then she got this talk show where she was dancing. She was giving away prizes. It was like Christmas every day.
Yes. Can I ask you this question? I always ask you to ask you a question. Can I ask permission to ask you a question? Because I think she talks about this on the special. If she had not started everything with like, "Oh, have a great day," and like be good to each other, like, it would have been different. She set herself up as this brand of nicety and, like you said, dancing and everybody's welcome. If she just said like, "Go and fuck yourselves," like she says in her special, like no one would have had that expectation of her, right? I mean,
no, you know what? I think it still would have happened because I think that we are now living in times, and like I said, being on a daytime talk show where you have HR. I'm the HR for this show.
Which is why we're a mess.
So I have to write myself up. Every week, I got to write myself up. All right. Ooh.
No, you know who writes you up every week or writes us up? Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable writes us up every week.
Ceej, our producer, has filed several complaints, and I'm still working those out. It's just been an influx of complaints. But you have to remember that we have this HR department, and that came about because of all of this toxic work environment. Sure. And I will say it is needed. But in my humble opinion, when you are dealing in production,
yes,
I think some people do take advantage of HR. I think that there are some people that do, that they run the HR.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. I've never called anybody out their name. I've never yelled at anybody, especially on this show yet, Ceej. But I have had, when I was on The Real, a couple of reports on me. And this is my thing.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what? And you know when they call you in, right? They're like, we need to talk to you.
Wait. Did I know about the HR? I need to report something right now.
You have to send in your report to me because I am now HR. Okay.
That doesn't seem right.
But when you go to HR, they send you they send you the email. You have to go. And you have to look at this HR lady, and then she tells you like something like, someone gave a report on you, and you're like, okay, what was it about? And all of my reports it was not that I yelled or anything. It was just it's just something about her, and I'm like, what? How is that an HR report? Now, this is the thing that I am, and you know this by working with me, and Ceej probably knows, and our booker and everybody.
Bossy, you're bossy.
I am about business.
Right.
You call it bossy. I'm about business.
Yes,
let's get this
100%.
business done, and then let's play later. And when you're on a daytime talk show, the way we were doing 3 shows a day. We would have to make sure, like, if one camera goes down, you delayed maybe 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. That backs up the whole day. So all this playing and hee-haw, and I was never mean about it. If somebody want to tell a long story during the group meeting, go ahead. But I'm looking at my book. Why can't I look at my book?
Well, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to be reported to HR right now.
Yes, you are.
Because, again, as a grown-ass woman, do you think that as women, we are held to a higher standard as far as being bossy? Like, it's like we're bitches, we're the B word, we're bossy, we're, too aggressive, whatever the word is, to put us in the bitch category because we are trying to get things done. Like you said, like, listen, I will tell you my quick HR story.
Please. See, thank you. Everybody has an HR story. Tell me yours.
I was on a show.
Mm-hmm.
A network show where I was the number 2 showrunner. I was like the co-exec producer. And the person who was the showrunner was a new showrunner. He had never run a show before. It was a he. He kind of come up through the ranks and got this big show. As things were going on, it was clear that I had more experience than him. This is my take on it, okay? So then one day we're in the room and he was in over his head. The star didn't like him. They were battling. So he was under a lot of pressure. And so one day I questioned something, like some story that he was doing. Like, again, we're creating a show. So my whole job is to have story questions or make sure the story works or have, put jokes in, whatever it is. We're solving a puzzle every day, which is what we do. And he was so flustered by me calling him on something that he reported me to HR for insubordination.
That's what I'm talking about.
If that's not like a, grown-ass woman thing where, like, you can't talk because you're showing me up, like, that's what we do. We're trying to have better ideas than each other in this room. But because my idea is better than yours, I'm going to HR.
I have argued with HR so much, and then in the end, the HR person usually goes, just leave. But anyway, check out Ellen's new stand-up special. It's called For Your Approval. It's on Netflix.
That was the best commercial for a special ever.
Up next, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump agreed to do separate Univision town halls. Now, we've been wanting them to do a second debate because that first debate was juicy.
Oh, my God.
But then Donald said, no, I'm not doing another debate. But he has found something that maybe is to his liking. They have both agreed to do separate town halls for Univision as both candidates compete for undecided Hispanic voters.
I was going to say, yeah.
Trump will appear at a town hall on October 8th from Miami, and Harris will appear at October 10th at an event from Las Vegas. And they're going to have the same moderator at both events. It will air at 10 p.m. on Univision. Univision, and they say that this serves as a two-way bridge. We'll bring every voice to our community while conveying the concerns of Latinos to those in power. There are more than 36 million Hispanics eligible to vote in the U.S., making them the largest minority in the country with the power to influence the outcome. And this is Hispanic Heritage Month still.
Yes,
they do it from like September 15th to October 15th. So I think this is great. I believe that this is a fair way that you at least get to see both candidates in a different type of town hall. What do you think?
Well, are they going to do it like a side-by-side kind of thing, like a Zoom thing, or are they doing separate?
No, they're doing two separate dates. So his is first.
Okay.
And then Kamala is doing hers in Las Vegas on the 10th. So it'll be two separate ones. I can appreciate the fact that they're appealing to the Hispanic populations, because I think that's important. So good for them. You know.
There's a lot of swing voters, I think, in that demographic, because I think it's going to be all about the swing voters, people in the middle, the independents, and a lot of independents are Latino. So they're going to have to make their case, and I'm excited to see it as well.
I just want to see another debate, though, between those two.
So
like,
good.
It's like, come on, really, Donald? Any other time? No, I already did two debates, which he did. He did one with
I'm surprised he
Biden.
did the one with her. I'm really surprised, because I thought he was going to chicken out on that one, because he'd already kind of spiked the ball on Biden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So him to come back, he only was going to lose. There's nothing for him to win.
No, I think he thought that he could get her.
Yes,
and because remember with Hillary what happened and everything, but
at least he didn't stalk her like he did Hillary.
I know. Remember, he was all behind Hillary.
Creeper.
I was like, what is happening?
I mean, so was Hillary. She's like, what are you doing? Gil, get away from me. Oh, God.
So we'll check that out October the 8th and October the 10th. Also in political news this weekend, oh, my goodness, Janet Jackson.
Oh, dear. Don't even.
Okay. There was a controversy this weekend because she is on tour in the UK. And she did an article for The Guardian. And in the article, she said that when asked about the prospect of the United States having its first black female president, Janet said, she's not black. That's what I heard. She's Indian. And she added, I was told that they discovered her father was white.
Oh, yeah.
And when she did that,
oh, God, I can't.
Everybody.
I can't.
They started making memes. They were like, you out of control. You Miss Nasty.
That's a good one.
You haven't done nothing for us lately.
That's a good one, too.
They were just going in. Now, it's important to note that her brother, Randy, has been seen with, RFK Jr., he is suspected to be a Trumpster, conservative. And this talking point is a conservative conspiracy talking point that Kamala is not black.
Right. That's Donald started that, right? Didn't Trump start that? Donald Trump. He started that.
Somebody started it. They over there. They trying to look. They throwing as many punches as they can. Like, look, if we tell the black people she ain't black, that'll make them vote for me.
Because he said it. Remember when he went to the Black Caucus, he said that. He's like, well, I didn't know she was black. She's always been Indian to me. Like, all of a sudden, she's black.
Well, I want to say something. She came on our show, The Real. It was like, 20, when she was running, maybe 2016, something like that. And she's always said that she was black. On the Breakfast Club at the same time, we did a whole article about her blackness. And she says, I'm black. Her father is Jamaican. Jamaican is black.
Well, she went to Howard. She went to HBCU.
The definition of black, because I had said, let me look this up. Definition of black.
For you. You did your research, unlike Janet.
I try to. I'm trying not to go to HR. Definition of black is a person from the African continent.
Yes.
That is black. So you have to remember that most black people during slavery went either to the Caribbean or they came to the United States. And that is why, you have this influx of black people in the Caribbean, but Jamaican has always been considered black.
Absolutely.
And you look at her dad and you could tell he's black.
Yeah, and you can tell she's black. I mean, there's no, again, identifying, I think, is part of it, because I do think when you listen to her and like her cultural heritage, she absolutely identifies as black for sure. And
definitely. But this really is what a lot of people were putting that out on Twitter, on the social medias. They were doing TikTok. My TikTok babies. They was like, "Wait, hold up!" They had all kind of things. So while all that was happening, the next day, shortly after it came out, an apology was issued on the singer's behalf to BuzzFeed by Mo El Morizi, an Egyptian filmmaker.
You and your names.
Yeah, I'm just looking like how I said. And he's an Egyptian filmmaker who has allegedly worked as a creative consultant for Jackson. And in it, he basically said, she is giving an apology and that Harris's racial identity was based on misinformation. Well, honey, about 3 hours later, Jackson's current manager, who's her brother Randy and representatives for Ms. Jackson confirmed to USA Today on Sunday that he was not authorized, the El Maserati, he was not authorized to make the statement to BuzzFeed. And then he put out another social media post and said, I used to work for them and I got fired because I put that out. I was just trying to help. I added that last part.
Poetic license.
Quick little detour from this. Did you know Randy Jackson got shot by Tina Turner?
What?
Yes, girl. See, this is what happens when you don't have a life. When Loni doesn't have a life, she goes down the rabbit hole. And yes, Randy Jackson was shot by Tina Turner.
Wait, Randy Jackson from the Jackson whatever.
Randy
Jackson from American Idol.
No, Randy Jackson, I'm talking about Janet's brother,
manager,
was shot by Tina Turner. He actually confirmed it in a tweet. This was years ago. And he says, yes, I was shot. I have the scar to prove it. And allegedly, the story is that he's not known to be a nice guy. You can look up his record. He has one record for DV. And I guess his wife at the time went over to see Tina Turner. Now, if you're going to be in trouble, you might as well go ahead and go to Tina Turner. So the story goes that Randy's wife was at Tina's house. Tina told Randy to leave because he came over to try to get her. And then Randy got mad and allegedly threw a flower plant at Tina's house. And then I guess that's when Tina said, what love got to do with it? And took the gun. And the rest is history.
I love that story, first of all. I had never heard that. But good for Tina. I have a huge picture of Tina Turner in my bathroom because she's one of my heroes. But
Tina does not play.
No. And listen, icon, hero, grown-ass woman, icon. But can I just say a couple things? A couple things I want to say about this. Number one, don't let your brother be your manager. I just say that.
Okay.
Let's just get that out of the way. I love my brother, but Theo Huxtable, you're not going to be my manager. Second of all, I was so, because remember this week Pharrell was talking about I don't like when celebrities talk about politics. And I was so mad at him because I'm like, you know what? Don't shut up and dribble us. You know what I mean? People who are in the public eye, they have a platform. If they want to, use it, they should be able to use it. And then I heard this Janet thing, and I was like, okay, maybe that's what Pharrell was talking about.
Now you see why.
Yes.
But she took it back. She has not said anything to date about she's just being quiet about it.
But she should do her research. That's the thing. Don't come out and say, I had heard, or I heard this is what they're saying. No, you need Google some shit. You know what I mean?
I will say, with all of that said, that I will give her some points of grace. For her not saying anything. I know that her brother, Tito, recently passed.
Yes,
and so they're dealing with that. And I want to acknowledge Tito Jackson because he was one of the quietest Jacksons, but he was a very powerful force. him and his sons, they're called 3T. They had a group, Terrell, TJ, and Taj. They did this foundation every year for Halloween in the benefit of their mother, Dee Dee Jackson, for her foundation. And that's where I got to meet Tito Jackson. He was always a kind man. And he actually put me in his music video.
What?
It was called For Love. Yes.
You were a video hoe? No, I'm kidding. Video vixen.
No, I was 2 seconds in that damn video. 2 seconds in that video.
Twerking in the Tito video.
But I will say that, these are very trying times. And when you have a platform like Janet's, you do have to be aware and careful of it, because there's so many people that look up to her. And, it's just that it is what it is. But she hasn't said anything, but she has not apologized for her statements. So
yeah, well, grown-ass women need to be responsible, like you said. So
definitely. And lastly, CBS has added 3 new casts to the new daytime soap opera Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates is a majority black cast soap opera that has replaced The Talk. And they were mad over there at The Talk.
I'll bet.
They got till December, and they like, hike them up out of here. And actually, this is a collaboration. This black daytime soap opera is a collaboration between CBS and the NAACP.
Oh.
The NAACP has done some type of deal with CBS to bring on more black programming. They actually got sponsorship from Procter & Gamble. I just want to read a little bit. Beyond the Gates is created and it serves as this opening feel between the partnership of P&G Studios and also NAACP and CBS. So will you be watching?
Well, first of all, I don't know what black soaps are, because it's like, that's like black jobs. Because I will say, when I was growing up, we used to watch soap operas all the time. Like my grandma, our grandparents would take care of us when our parents were like at school or whatever, or work. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother watched all those shows. And I remember she watched, what did she watch? All My Children. And they had like Jesse and Angie. They were black. That was like the whole thing. It was like, we watched Jesse and Angie and their love affair and blah, 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 blah. So I don't think there's anything new. But I will say I think it's very smart. Because again, all our grandmas be watching soap operas back in the day, and now there's going to be a whole new audience for them. Black women be loving some soaps.
I think it's going to be 2 years, and I think it's going to No, I'm gonna say I'm just gonna put it out there. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it's just P&G Studios, they're not gonna be able to fund this for.
You don't think?
No, they're not gonna be able to. From what I'm hearing, the word on the street is that it's like $1 million an episode. They're not gonna be able to.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I heard. Allegedly. Let me protect us.
Wow.
But if that's the case,
don't do a Janet on us and get us in trouble.
And I kind of feel bad that they, canceled The Talk.
Yeah.
Because The Talk was another vehicle that had minority people on it and people of color, and there are a lot of people that need that promo, but it is what it is. So
I feel like they think that probably there's so many talk shows. It's like, it's just too many. So you need to try to throw something else against the wall. You know what I mean?
But there are a lot of soaps.
I thought they were canceled most of them.
They need
like
to put
1 or 2.
As long as they put Victor Newman. Victor Newman.
Now you're showing how grown ass you are.
Dude, you know Victor Newman. If you follow him on Twitter, he be talking mad shit. Victor Newman don't care. He going in on people. I'm like, that's Victor Newman right there.
I gotta check that out.
Moving on, our girl Christina Aguilera celebrated the 25th anniversary of her self-titled debut album at the Spotify Music Studios in Los Angeles this week, and took the opportunity to collaborate with Sabrina Carpenter and Machine Gun Kelly. And she brought out Sabrina. Did you see Christina Aguilera?
I didn't see it, but I can't believe it's been 25 years. How freaking old are we?
Well, first of all, she don't look like. I don't know if everybody on Ozempic, because she don't even look like herself anymore.
Everybody's
seriously.
I told
I'm
you
the
to go
only
get
person.
I told you to get your undermarket Ozempic because you were famous. You can get it if you want it.
I can't find it. I can't get it at all.
I'll get you
I don't know
some.
where.
Listen,
You gonna be my dealer?
Yes.
All right, Puffy Jr.
Claire Huxtable, do not listen to this. I'm not dealing drugs. I need another disclaimer. Disclaimer, Erica's not dealing drugs.
Hi, it's me again, Mrs. Huxtable. Erica really wants to drive home the point that she does not deal drugs or attend ditty parties. On Sundays, she goes to the farmer's market and then goes to brunch with her family and loving mother. Loni is probably at a premiere somewhere.
She is sitting on the couch. There is with her and Sabrina Carpenter. First of all, she sounds magnificent.
Yeah, her voice has always been great.
But her look is totally, totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, she really has been putting in the work. And,
or
you
the
know,
Ozempic.
Oh, well.
You don't know.
Hey, you know,
listen,
it's been 25 years. You got to do, grown women got to do what grown women got to do to stay on top. And
hey,
she
Kelly
stayed on top.
Kelly Clarkson says she does it, so, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got that voice, too, so.
But can you believe 25 years?
I feel so old, but I will say on a similar subject, like I watched Demi Lovato has this new documentary called Child Star, and she interviews all like not Christina, but like all the people from like Mickey Mouse Club and like Kenan Thompson, and those kids. I mean, the fact that Christina is even still here and alive at 25, do you know what I mean? And still has her whole mind and her voice. Good for her, because that's not an easy road. Being a child star.
Definitely. And I also want to give a special shout out to T.I. and Tiny. They won a whopping $71 million judgment at the OMG girls trial. The dolls.
What?
Yes, honey. The Oh My God girls. They look just like their daughters that they patterned them after. And so they brought on this lawsuit. They had lost it twice. And the third time was the charm because they were able to get this jury award. It was a massive $71 million.
Wow.
They say that the toy maker MGA violated the intellectual property rights of the teen pop group. That, you know, it was wildly popular, and they did a whole line of dolls. And when you look at the group, that T.I. and Tiny's group, the dolls are just like that group. They look exactly like it. And they've been fighting this for some years. And they finally won. They got a whopping $71 million judgment. So congratulations to them. I'm like, whew, somebody needed. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into today's topic with Tracy McMillan. Boom.